In an old computer mouse with a ball inside, you can find a lot of valuable components. Especially the infrared LED diode, the infrared sensor and high quality button switches. When you click on the knobs from the mouse. Here are these valuable button switches, 3 ones, and here are the diodes that are used. They are infrared diodes, as far as I know, and the principle from such an old ball mouse is that there's light emitted here, there's a kind of gear that moves when you move the mouse, and the light is stopped and not stopped, so it sends pulses into the receiver, and that is the infrared sensor, and they are here, the black ones. Perhaps this helps a little bit, I hope so, to show more what I mean. The black things here are the sensors, and the glassy things are the senders, the infrared senders. There's a chip inside, of course, that does all the work, but that's not the aim of my video. I only want to show that you can use these components, valuable components, inside an old computer mouse. I've told it net infrared LED, infrared sensor, high quality button switches. So what can you do with those components? I've made a schematic that was not tested, so it's only to show the properties. For instance, here you use that sender LED, the emitter LED, and in that way you can make an optocoupler with these LEDs. So salvage them. Important for experiments in the future or now directly. Here I have made a circuit that I have not tested, but I think it will work. This would be my first setup when I wanted to do experiments with these components. You can set a working point, here you can send in a signal. The infrared diodes sends its signal, that's this signal, because here the current flows to the receiver, and here is the receiver, also a LED, for indeed a first possible setup from such an optocoupler. It receives and it takes the transistor out of its working point so that the LED stops or lights up. And that depends on the signal that you send in here. Here you can see that the distance between the two things, sender and emitter, is very small. I don't know how much distance you can have between these two, but anyway, for an optocoupler circuit it's possible that it is not a big problem, the distance. So you can mount that, for instance, in a dark box, or even not in a dark box, because infrared frequencies are not disturbed, generally spoken, by normal light. It's an other frequency band where it all works. So this could be a setup for a first experiment, and I think the computer mouse has a lot of interesting components to do experiments with.